죽은 사람과의 대화는 과연 가능한 것일까?
I had a short conversation with my father, who died when I was 6 years old.
They'll be tapping on your shoulder to get your attention.
She didn't see him. My sister didn't see him. I saw him standing right there.
사후 세계를 경험했다는 사람들이 있다.
I wanted to go on into the light. I wanted to know what was in there.
What I have is a certainty. There is no death. There is only life.
Temperature here in the hall is 79 degrees Fahrenheit.
유령의 존재를 객관적으로 확인하기 위해 과학자들도 합류했다.
I do think that the house is legitimately haunted by my definition.
There's strong circumstantial evidence that after-death communications are real.
음파 자극을 통해 유체 이탈의 경험이 가능하다고 한다. 중력 적응 장치는 임사 체험과 유사한 경험을 일으킨다.
We've had individuals going back and seeing their families, looking over a lake with the sunset at the end of the lake, being very peaceful.
컴퓨터 코드 생성기를 통해 또 다른 차원의 의식이 존재한다는 게 밝혀졌다.
Consciousness can access other parts of space and other parts of time than those in which it is physically immersed.
본 프로그램에서는 사후 세계의 실체와 관련된 여러 가지 현상들을 검토해 볼 예정이다. 물론 보다 의미 있는 삶을 찾기 위한 시도다.
Once he was gone, I knew I had to know. I had to find out.
죽음 이후의 세계에 대해 우리는 과연 제대로 알고 있는 것일까? 오늘날 사후 세계에 대해 믿고 있는 미국인의 수는 과거 어느 때보다 더욱 많아졌다. 사회 과학자들로서는 의외의 결과다.
At the turn of the century, social scientists predicted that the level of religiosity and belief in the afterlife by the end of the 20th century would decline dramatically because of two things. One, secularization of society through public education, and the rise of science. In actual fact, the opposite has happened. The belief in an afterlife has almost doubled.
종교가 대중 속에 더욱 널리 퍼졌을 뿐만 아니라 초현실적인 현상에 대한 믿음도 늘어났다. 매년 심령술에 쓰이는 돈이 수십억 달러에 이를 정도이며 1996년부터 거의 2주에 한 번꼴로 신비주의 관련 서적들이 뉴욕타임즈의 베스트셀러 목록에 오르고 있다. 주요 대학에서도 사후 세계에 대한 기존의 과학적 입장에 도전하는 연구가 진행되고 있다. 버지니아 대학교에서 30년간 추진된 연구는 환생에 대한 분명한 증거들을 제시하고 있다. 프린스턴 대학교에서는 20년간의 연구를 통해 보통 사람도 염력으로 물체를 움직일 수 있다는 걸 보여주었다. 애틀란타의 심장외과 의사 마이클 세반 박사는 유체 이탈과 임사 체험에 대한 수백 건의 뚜렷한 임상 사례들을 제시한다. 이와 같은 연구들은 아직 소수지만 학문적인 권위를 가진 그룹의 목소리를 대변하고 있다. 인간의 영혼이 사후에도 계속 존재한다는 증거를 더 이상 무시하지 말자는 것이다.
I think many of my colleagues are uncomfortable with some of these implications. But I also believe that this is sufficiently important that we have to stand up and be counted.
인간은 그들의 선조들이 사후에도 존재한다는 걸 확신할 수 있는 여러 가지 방법을 찾아냈다. 일부 원시사회에서는 샤먼이라는 영적인 지도자가 존재했다. 이들은 우주의 무서운 힘과 징조를 읽어냄으로써 부정민들의 숭배를 받았다. 샤먼은 부족의 조상들로부터 계시를 받는다고 주장했다. 죽은 조상의 훈령은 지혜와 정보, 위로의 원천이었다. 서구에서는 사제와 신관들이 예언자의 역할을 맡아왔지만 점차 과학과 의학이 그 자리를 대신해 나갔다. 그러나 사랑하는 이가 죽었을 때 과학이 아무런 답을 주지 못하고 기성 종교도 충분한 위로를 주지 못할 때 그 공백을 메운 게 바로 영매다. 혼령과 소통할 수 있는 능력을 가졌다고 주장하는 초능력자들을 만나보자.
Okay. All right. Well, let me see what I can get. Just a minute.
브라이언 허스트는 망자의 목소리를 들을 수 있다는 영매다.
Michael, it looks like there's an interest here in spiritual healing energy.
I've been doing healing.
Someone's talking about laying on of hands and directing through your fingers magnetic healing energy.
Do that seriously.
Yes, I think.
허스트가 매달 여는 모임에는 한 명당 $12씩 내고 참가한다.
They're talking about your father. Father's passed over, has he?
Yes.
Your father. Keep saying Shelley's father. He's behind the scenes trying to inspire you or impress you in some way. It looks like he's trying to make up for things that he didn't do when he was on the earth. Do you understand?
Yes.
I feel this man has a lot to be sorry about, a lot to apologize for. How do I receive this information? There are times when I get a funny sensation in my solar plexus area and almost hear a voice in my belly. And there are times when I hear no voice at all, but just get a whole lot of thoughts. Some of it is clairvoyance, where I see pictures in my forehead. And then there's, of course, clairsentience, when you receive sensations and feelings. I get a feeling like I can't breathe, like I'm getting asthmatic or short of breath, and a spirit is coming through who died, perhaps of emphysema. Do you know who somebody called Francis would be?
Frances is our friend Donna's mother.
She's dead, is she?
No, but Donna is.
Oh, someone keeps talking about Frances. Tell Frances I'm
영매들은 틀린 말을 할 경우도 많다. 사입이라서 그렇다는 비판도 있다.
This is what's called a cold reading technique. First of all, you make a lot of general comments about this lost loved one, throwing stuff out, several times, several statements every minute. And the person will remember the hits and forget the misses.
Is this a Spanish background? It's not. I think I'm with Walter in front. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I was with you. But, yeah, because...
틀려도 그 나름대로의 변명거리가 있다.
There's a lady... When I do my group sessions, a number of different things are happening. I'm trying to sort out a lot of different vibrational frequencies, different voices, because sometimes there can be 2 or 3 people trying to get into my head. And not always are the spirits disciplined. And sometimes I have to ask them, please, come on one at a time. I cannot possibly hear you if you're all trying to get through at the same time. Do you have any friends who are what they call Teochew?
Yes.
Teochew.
Teochew.
What is Teochew?
Teochew that's where my...
Teochew.
That's our background.
Is it?
Yes, we're Chinese.
Is that a Chinese?
It's a Chinese
branch of Chinese religion or language or something?
Yes, a language.
I was pretty skeptical, but there's certain things that, like what he says about our dialect, Teochew. No one ever knew about that.
What Brian said is I'm hearing Hana, Hanum. And that was my father's nickname for her, Hanum, which in Turkish means honey. And it's like, how many people would know that? And then she just started coming in, and she was talking the way she would talk, and it was...
영매를 믿는 사람들에겐 감동적인 경험이다. 하지만 회의적인 시각을 가진 사람들도 많다.
I would suggest that the information that psychics get is the same information that you can get. If you want to talk to a dead person, I suggest you just sit down one day with a pad and pencil and just allow that dead person's being to come into your body and start writing. Let natural writing occur. You might be surprised at what you find out. But if you don't want to do that, if that's uncomfortable to you and you feel that you'd rather pay $100 or $50 or whatever it costs to go to somebody who's called themselves a psychic and give you that experience, then go ahead and do it. But remember, they're fallible and they may be tricksters, and you don't know which they are.
영매를 통해 죽은 사람과 대화한다는 것은 지금부터 150년 전 뉴욕 하이즈빌의 한 농가에서 시작되었다.
If your answer is yes, knock twice.
1848년 당시 10대의 소녀인 마가렛과 케이트 자매는 한밤중에 이상한 소리에 깼다고 한다. 이들은 점차 그 소리와 뜻이 통하기 시작했다. 손가락을 튕기는 방식으로 일종의 알파벳처럼 의사소통을 하게 된 것이다. 이들 자매는 그 소리가 한 남자의 혼령이 내는 소리였고 그 남자는 살해당해 지하실에 매장돼 있다고 주장했다. 이 사건 이후 이들 자매는 일약 유명 인사가 되었고 사후세계와 소통할 수 있는 영매로서 각광을 받게 되었다. 이때부터 심령술이 대중화되기 시작했다.
It swept this country and the world, the Western world, literally like wildfire. All of a sudden, on every corner, in every city, in every small town in this country, as well as in England, there were mediums. Everybody could communicate with the dead. And seances became one of the greatest fads of the time, so popular that in the White House, in the 1850s, when Franklin Pierce was president, he and his wife had lost a child, a youngster hit by a railroad train. They held seances to communicate with their son's spirit. They invited the Fox sisters there. Mrs. Lincoln held seances in the White House when President Lincoln was in the White House.
60여만 명의 전사자를 낸 남북전쟁이 끝난 뒤 심령술은 더욱 널리 퍼지게 되었다. 1차 대전 뒤에도 마찬가지였다. 발명왕 에디슨은 망자와의 대화를 위한 장치를 개발하는 데 관심을 가졌다.
He didn't say he believed in life after death. What he said is if it exists, I might be able to find a way to measure it or communicate with it, because he believed also if it did exist, it might be of an electrical nature.
1920년 한 과학 잡지에 에디슨의 전자식 영매 장치에 대한 기사가 실렸다. 하지만 실제로 제작되지는 못했고 그 후 에디슨의 사망과 함께 중단되고 말았다. 그 이후 주류 학계에서는 죽은 사람과의 대화라는 현상을 거의 도외시했다. 하지만 영매에 대한 대중들의 관심이 수그러들지는 않았다. 그러다가 근래 들어서 과학적으로 설명할 수 없는 현상에 대해 진지한 연구가 일어나고 영매 세계에 대한 조사도 시작되었다. 애리조나 대학교에서 그와 같은 연구가 진행 중이다. 인체 에너지 시스템 연구소의 게리 슈워츠 박사와 린다 러식 박사는 영매가 정보를 얻는 방식을 연구하고 있다.
A true scientist should be open to any data. If it's collected in an appropriate fashion, we should look at the data regardless of whether it agrees with our current stories, theories or not.
슈워츠 박사는 로리 캠벨이라는 영매를 실험 대상으로 삼았다. 로리는 고객들의 죽은 가족이나 친지에 대해 놀라울 정도로 자세하게 묘사하곤 했다.
Is your mother's father in spirit?
Yes.
It was a quick passing.
Yes.
He's been in spirit for a while because he gives a sense of watching as his son is.
로리는 첫 테스트에서 슈워츠 박사를 놀라게 했다. 한 연구원이 죽은 사람 6명과 산 사람 6명을 마음속으로 생각하는 동안 죽은 사람을 골라내라는 것이었다.
Much to my absolute disbelief, she was 100% accurate in guessing age, sex, and living or deceased during the telepathy phase. And so she can read our minds, at least in principle.
영매는 정말로 사람의 마음을 읽을 수 있는 것일까? 심령술사들은 그것이 가능하다고 주장한다.
People are able to pick up thought patterns occasionally from other people's minds. Probably it is a primitive form of communication that became atrophied as we became more reliant on verbal communication, which is far more accurate. And so now occasionally we get a telepathic signal from another mind. But people who are psychics, who are sensitives or mediums, are able to receive this type of subliminal information through telepathy to a much larger extent than most of us. So it could be that the information they're getting is primarily telepathy from other living minds, not necessarily from the minds of the dead.
슈워츠 박사는 텔레파시의 순간을 감지하는 방법을 연구하고 있다. 영매가 죽은 사람과 통화하고 있다고 주장하는 그 순간이다. 영매 능력과 혼령의 잔존에 대한 연구가 본격화되고 있는 것이다.
At the present time, most of us find it virtually impossible to imagine that survival of consciousness is real, that we can be able to develop communication skills with our loved ones, that there will be trained mediums who do this even better, that technology may come along to make it possible just like a telephone, that all of these things are possible. We find it just incomprehensible. But I think it's worth remembering that 100 years ago, we felt the same way about airplanes.
계속해서 유체 이탈의 증거를 알아본다. 한 소년이 죽을 뻔한 상태에서 자신의 육체를 바라보는 체험을 했다고 한다.
And I go, gosh, I know this face from someplace. Where have I seen it before? And suddenly it hits me that this is my face.
올더스 헉슬리, 데이시 로렌스, 스트린드베르그, 잭 런던, 괴테. 이들에겐 공통적인 체험이 있다. 의식이 육체와 분리되어 자유로워지는 체험에 대해 구체적으로 기술한 것이다. 이것이 유체 이탈의 증거일까? 죽음 뒤에도 영혼은 존재할까? 미국과 영국, 호주 각지에서 사례 조사를 한 결과를 보면 유체 이탈은 그리 드문 일도 아니며 대략 5명의 1명꼴로 일생에 한 번쯤은 경험했다고 한다. 잠이나 명상 또는 마취 중에 자연스럽게 일어나기도 하고 극도의 스트레스나 심각한 신체적 부상의 경우에도 일어난다고 한다.
Well, who would? I mean, I look like a skeleton warmed over. You can see there, too.
마이클 조셉은 10대 때 유체 이탈 체험을 했다고 한다. 성인이 된 지금도 그 당시를 생생하게 기억하고 있다. 마이클은 13살 때 친구들과 함께 시에라 네바다 산 기슭을 올라갔다.
I was bragging to them that I could climb the face of this rock. The only tricky part was there was a chunk of rock sitting in the middle of this ledge that you had to navigate around. And as I stepped around this chunk of rock, my sleeve got caught in some briars and I jerked it loose. And the second I jerked it loose, the rock jerked it loose. There's no place for me to go except downriver. It happened so fast. Then it's lights out. I feel nothing, I hear nothing, I sense nothing.
마이클은 커다란 바위에 깔린 채 의식을 잃고 말았다. 친구들은 구조를 요청하러 마을로 달려갔다.
I could see this cloud of light. It was really interesting to watch it, like these little tiny sparkles of light slowly lifting off like a mist, floating off. I'm looking at this thing and I'm looking at it and I noticed that it's squashed flat underneath this boulder. And I go, gosh, I know this face from someplace. Where have I seen it before? And suddenly it hits me that this is my face. And I flew into a panic. I mean, I was terrorized. I'm going, oh my God, Dad is going to spank me for this. I broke this body and I've got to figure out how to get it going. And then, bang, I feel this pop in the back of my head. Suddenly I am in agony and I'm laying under this boulder. I can't breathe, I can't move, and I hear energy crackling everywhere. I mean, I felt so powerful. I was full of energy. I pushed this boulder over like it's made out of paper mache. But then I instantly passed out.
일부 전문가들은 유체 이탈 현상이 정서적, 신체적 쇼크 상태에서 일어난다고 보고 있다.
For example, we know about people who are being sexually or physically abused who then report looking at themselves from the ceiling of the room and seeing what's going on with them, which is very much like what people talk about when they're almost physically dead. And what is happening is that the mind, the psyche, is trying to protect itself in both of these instances by separating itself and trying to look down on what's happening and understand it and keep itself protected, a part of itself at least protected.
마이클은 수술실에서 또 한 번 유체 이탈을 경험했다.
They're over there putting a stain of some kind on my chest, you know, and I'm going, they're going to cut me and I'm not asleep. This is starting to scare me, you know. And then I hear my mom and my dad praying. And the next thing I know, I'm out in the hallway and I can see them down near the reception area praying. So I'm beginning to have that weird experience again because I can see them out there in the hallway when I'm really supposed to be behind several doors in this operating room. And they began to operate on me, and then some guy saying, BP is getting low, we're losing him. And then all of a sudden I hear this B, and this guy says, we've lost him, and this doctor says, no, we haven't. And he just rips my chest open with this knife.
마이클은 의식을 잃은 상태에서도 여러 가지 일들을 눈으로 본 것처럼 기억했다. 과연 과학적으로 설명할 수 있는 일일까?
People in surgery, they're often not completely under. Now, if this happens at a teaching hospital or any hospital where, for example, the surgeon is there with assistants and other students, medical students, where he's explaining what's going on, then you can incorporate what was said into your memory and then report that back later.
마이클도 그런 경우인지 모른다. 하지만 한 의사가 조사한 수백 건의 사례들 중에는 명백한 예외가 있었다.
Could they have been hearing conversation in the room when they were presumed to be unconscious at the time and then later report that as a visual image, having seen it from the ceiling? I've looked into that explanation. I've looked into the explanation of perhaps they read about it, perhaps they saw it on television, and they were just reconstructing from their own knowledge, general knowledge of what a resuscitation would be like, and then saying, yes, that's what happened to me. I've looked into those possibilities and in a few instances have found that really I can find no explanation for how these people were able to visually recall what was going on in a room when they were unconscious while they were being resuscitated.
마이클은 결혼해서 현재 두 아이의 아버지가 되었다. 그는 지금도 자신이 13살 때 영혼이나 의식이 몸에서 분리된 경험을 했다고 믿고 있다. 육신은 기절한 상태에서 주위의 사물을 본 것이다. 이런 현상이 충분히 가능한 일이라고 보는 학자들도 있다.
Out-of-body experience is the natural state of consciousness itself. Being in body is what's the artifact, is what's hard, is what we have to work at. When we are dealing, for example, with children, very young children, they have a hard time being in their bodies. They're out of the body a lot. In fact, we as parents are often telling them, pay attention to what you're doing. Watch where you're walking, because kids are just not paying attention. They're out of their bodies. They're in the imaginal realm.
유체이탈 경험은 영혼의 여행과 관련되기도 하며 춤이나 노래, 주문 등 여러 가지 인위적인 방법을 쓰기도 한다. 이 고대의 전통 속에는 의식이 변한 상태로 돌입하는 비결이 숨겨져 있다는 분석도 나오고 있다. 인위적인 소리를 이용해 유체이탈 체험을 일으킬 수 있다는 주장도 있다.
We find that there are no limits to what people can experience, to where they can go. We are only as limited as our limited beliefs.
달린 밀러는 몰로 연구소의 기획실장이다. 엔지니어였던 로버트 몰로가 1956년에 설립한 이 연구소는 수면 중 학습 능력을 개발하는 데 목적을 두고 연구해왔다. 몰로는 특정한 음파가 인간의 의식 상태를 고양시키는 데 유용하다는 것을 발견했다. 1974년 일반에게 공개된 이후 6,000명 이상이 이곳 연구소를 찾아와 몰로가 특허를 낸 헤미싱크 챔버라는 특수장치의 효능을 체험했다. 연구소 측은 스트레스나 통증, 수면 장애를 치료하는 효과가 높다고 주장하고 있으며 200만 명 이상의 헤미싱크 명상 테이프를 사용하고 있다고 한다.
The physical changing of the brainwave state has to do with stimulating the brainstem, providing neurotransmitters to the cortex, which alter the arousal level of the cortex so that you can stay in these focused states of consciousness for prolonged periods of time. All right, I'm going to turn on the sounds now. As the brainwave patterns go by, as time passes, we can see the emergence of these alpha waves here, which indicate he's in a relaxed state. We want him to move to a state of delta and theta. We want them to kind of balance on this mind awake and yet body asleep kind of state.
One of the very surprising things in the first workshop that I did here is that I understood what they mean when they say body asleep, mind awake. I was listening to the headset, and all of a sudden I heard some snoring, and I kind of wondered, where was that? What's going on here? And I looked around and I realized that it was me snoring. So my body really was sound asleep, and my mind was quite awake, and it's a little bit surprising to find that.
딕 월링은 한 달간의 세미나에 참가하면서 헤미싱크 챔버 실험을 여러 차례 받았다. 몸과 정신이 분리되는 의식 상태를 자세히 느껴보는 게 목표였다. 최면이나 마취, 상상 등에 의해서도 일어나는 이러한 의식의 변화는 죽은 사람과 대화하는 느낌으로 이어지기도 한다고 한다.
Let me tell you what happened the first time that I experienced the level of consciousness that's associated with physical death. And I start by telling you, and I can laugh about it now, but I was scared to death that if I experienced that, I would die. I saw nothing. All I saw was a kind of a white fog. And it wasn't until some time later that I realized that was because I was scared to see what was there.
그 이후 딕은 뇌, 쇠파타 상태를 유지하는 테크닉을 터득했다.
I had a short conversation with my father, who died when I was 6 years old, in this state. I saw him in the hospital on his last day. And later on, in still a different state of consciousness, I began finding the souls of people who had died.
먼로 연구소 측에서도 헤미싱크 챔버에서 느낀 경험을 과학적으로 증명하기는 어렵다는 걸 인정하고 있다. 다만 많은 사람들이 유사한 경험을 한다는 점에서 이렇게 말한다.
I know that my consciousness survives physical death. Most of the people who go through our programs will tell us that that's the most important thing they've learned, that they now know they're more than a physical body, that they no longer fear death. And that may be the best that we can do, is continue to offer the means by which individuals can experience this for themselves.
이어서 죽음의 문턱에서 신비한 빛을 본 한 여인의 체험을 알아본다.
I ask, what is the nature of this light? Is it God?
(8세기) 티벳 밀교의 경전 사자의 서에는 죽은 자가 다음 세계로 넘어가는 가르침이 담겨 있다. 죽은 자의 영혼은 우선 순수한 진리의 빛과 만나게 된다고 한다. 그런데 티벳 밀교에 대해 전혀 모르는 미국인 가운데서도 유사한 체험을 했다는 주장이 있다.
I wanted to go on into the light. I wanted to know what was in there. And I wanted to understand the nature of the light. I asked, what is the nature of this light? Is it God? And they responded to me that it was what happened when God respirated.
팸 레이놀즈는 수술대 위에서 그와 같은 경험을 했다고 한다. 동맥류로 진단을 받아 생명이 위독한 상태였다. 뇌 수술을 하기 위해서는 뇌를 냉동시켜 잠시 뇌의 기능을 멈춰 놓아야만 했다.
In this procedure, Pam was taken into the operating room. Her body temperature was lowered to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Her heartbeat and respiration were stopped. In fact, as if you walked into the room and looked at her and evaluated her from a medical standpoint, she would be declared clinically dead.
팸은 바로 그 상태에서 여러 가지 놀라운 체험을 했다고 한다.
I came out of my body. I popped out the top of my head. I looked down and I saw my body on the gurney, and I knew that it was my body, but I didn't really relate to it as being me or think it was me, because obviously the me was looking at the body. I turned around and all at once I sensed a presence. A presence. I knew that I was not alone. And I began to see a very small, tiny pinpoint of light. And as I noticed the light, it began to pull me. And as it pulled me, the light began to get bigger. I heard my grandmother's voice calling me, and I went immediately to her. I saw with her several other souls, spirits. Some I recognized as being loved ones that I had lost in this lifetime. And some I did not readily recognize, but I knew that I was somehow connected to them. They would not, however, allow me to go into the light. I asked why. Why is this? And I was told that if I progressed into that light, they would be unable to connect this me with the body me, which was lying on the table, ready to be returned to my family. So I wanted to go back. I really did want to go back. I started back down the tunnel, accompanied by my uncle, and I got back to the end of it. And I didn't want to get back in the body because it was scary, and I didn't want to get back in it. So he pushed me, and the sensation was like diving into a pool of ice water. It hurt, and the body, I could feel the physical me recoil like this, jump.
팸의 신비한 체험은 여러 가지 의문을 불러일으킨다. 그녀의 의식이 정말로 육신과 분리되었을까? 아니면 수술의 충격으로 인한 환상에 불과했을까? 신경외과 의사 패트릭 로테는 의학적으로 설명할 수 있다고 말한다.
After trauma, there are a release of endorphins, which is a natural morphine-like substance that's released in the brain, and it is felt that this release causes a sense of well-being for these people. Some of the things that have also been reported, such as seeing a bright light, the area of the brain that's responsible for vision also is at one of these endpoints of circulation and may actually have some type of seizure or epileptogenic in that area that may lead people to believe that they're walking down a dark corridor that's a light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak.
발작이 원인인 경우가 많지만 팸의 담당 의사는 그건 아니라고 믿고 있다.
Pam had both the cerebral cortex and the brainstem monitored throughout her surgical procedure, during which she had a near-death experience. She had no seizure throughout the surgery. So that, at least in this one case where we have a patient who is monitored with the EEG throughout, seizures cannot explain Pam's experience because Pam didn't have a seizure.
임사 체험에 대한 하나의 단서는 의외의 장소에서 찾을 수 있을지도 모른다. 바로 미 해군 중력 실험실이다. 1972년부터 해군은 전투기 추락을 방지하기 위한 훈련의 일환으로 조종사들에게 고도의 중력에서 견디는 훈련을 실시해왔다. 제임스 윈너리 박사는 1000명 이상의 조종사들에게 중력 적응 훈련을 시키는 과정에서 절도와 임사 체험의 놀라운 유사성을 발견했다.
Okay, sir, really get on it. Come on, push it out now. Straight. 3, 2, 1, 3.
Good job, Tim. Real good job. We shouldn't have taken you that far.
Oh, shoot, I forgot what I was doing. Man, I was dreaming and everything.
There's a lot of different experiences that our pilots have. Some of them are a sense of floating, a sense of being very calm and serene. We've had individuals that have had dreams about going back and seeing their families, of being, for instance, looking over a lake with the sunset at the end of the lake, being very peaceful. The most common symptom that we see on centrifuges is this reduction of vision, gray out, tunnel vision, blackout, and that's because the eye is affected before the brain. So that's one of the things that we see most frequently is the tunnel vision. And as the brain tries to explain all these things that are happening in 5 seconds or less, I'm not so sure that it doesn't put into context this tunnel vision in terms of a bright light at the end of a tunnel.
Is there a light loss?
I don't know where I am. Honest to God, don't know where the hell I am. I thought I was at the grocery store. I don't know which one, but I was at the grocery store.
Our experiments are on the very edge of what a near-death experience probably would be. And so our symptoms, correlating well with theirs, makes me very strongly believe that individuals that have near-death experiences are very accurate in at least describing what's going on with them.
임사체험은 뇌 혈액 부족으로 일어나는 환각일까? 아니면 의식이 실제로 육신을 벗어난 어떤 세계로 들어간 것일까? 임사체험은 신체적 반응에 불과하다는 게 대다수의 의견이다.
All of the components of the near-death experience, the floating out of the body, the passing through the tunnel, the white light, the passage through the white light onto the other side, seeing other people that have died, all those are replicable in laboratories with several methods. One is the use of hallucinogenic drugs, 2, sleep deprivation and sensory deprivation, and 3, electromagnetic stimulation of the brain will produce all of those same characteristics.
수백 건의 임사 체험을 연구한 세반 박사는 다른 결론을 내린다.
I think the NDE is a spiritual experience, but I don't think it's a spiritual experience of the afterlife. I think it's a spiritual experience of the dying process. So during this process of dying, the soul is in the process of leaving the physical body. And I think that's what's going on with the near-death experience.
From the very beginning to the very end, when I knew I was going to have to get back into the body, it was so incredibly wonderful. There was nothing to be afraid of at all. Nothing at all. If that's the worst thing that ever happens to anyone, that we die, what a wonderful thing. How wonderful.
계속해서 임사 체험에 대한 새로운 단서를 제공해준 어린이들의 경우를 알아본다.
They said if she pressed the green button, she could go with them, but she would never see her parents or family again.
수학과 의사 멜빈 모스는 아이들의 이야기에 귀를 기울인다. 15년 전에 처음으로 한 어린이의 임사 체험담을 들었다. 시애틀의 벨리 메디컬 센터에서 근무하는 그는 어린이 임사 체험을 꾸준히 연구해왔다.
Red. When I first heard near-death experiences, I assumed that they were some sort of fantasy of the mind, some sort of hallucination caused by a lack of oxygen to the brain. we did our own case control study of every survivor of cardiac arrest at Seattle Children's Hospital over a 15-year period. And our research showed that 23 out of 26 children who came to the brink of death had a near-death experience. We learned that the so-called near-death experience is in fact the dying experience, that when we die, we suddenly have the ability to communicate with something that most people loosely call God. Say, stick out your tongue.
모스 박사는 임사 체험을 한 어린이들이 그린 그림을 꾸준히 수집해왔다.
This young boy described his near-death experience, which happened to him at age 3. And he states that he went down a long tunnel. We can see sort of this tunnel that turns into light. And he said that he went to a heavenly realm. He didn't call it a heavenly realm. He just said, I went to a land where I could run and double jump with God. This young girl here nearly died of a diabetic coma. And her experience has no religious elements in it whatsoever. In her experience, you can see that she's on a bed, and she says that 3 figures came to her who were doctors dressed in white. I said, how do you know they were doctors? She said, because they were very tall, and they had light bulbs in their bodies, and they were all lit up with a white light. She then told me that they pointed to a box at her bedside. They said if she pressed the green button, she could go with them, but she would never see her parents or family again. She pressed the red button, and she returned to consciousness. This young girl nearly died of fulminant bacterial meningitis at age 5, and she says that she floated up to heaven, and she met God. And this is God. He looks more like Santa Claus. And then she says that these figures in the corner are grandpas and grandmas and babies waiting to be born. This young girl here nearly died of fulminant mononucleosis. She presented to our office in cardiac arrest. We had to put a needle into her heart to restart her heart. She says that at the time that we put the needle into her heart, she was somewhere. And she saw her dead grandmother. And here's her dead grandmother. She's drawn a light around her dead grandmother. She says, I saw my grandmother, and I was just so shocked to see her because she seemed so real and lifelike, and yet she had died some years ago. She then says, and then I was back. And I said to her, what do you mean you were back? And she goes, that's what I've been trying to figure out. Did you swallow a radio for breakfast this morning?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I better listen and see. Near-death experiences teach us about the last few minutes of living. I have not had patients who died and then brought them back to life. That's not in my experience. So what I've learned is that when you die, you're awake, you're conscious, even though your brain is no longer working properly, and you have the perception of another reality. And that seems to be a loving reality that all knowledge is contained in. But what happens after that is for religious philosophers at this point, not for scientists.
응급소생술의 발달로 더 많은 생명을 구할 수 있게 되자 임사 체험을 했다는 사람의 수도 늘어났다. 최근 갤럽 조사에 따르면 임사 체험을 했다고 주장하는 미국인이 약 800만 명에 이른다고 한다. 내과 의사인 바바라 로모 박사는 임사 체험으로 인해 소외된 환자들을 접하면서 관심을 기울이게 되었다.
How you doing? Fine. How are you today? Very good. I have had so many patients actually come to us from another physician, change to our office, because when they tried to share this very personal, very profound, very spiritual experience with their physician, they were told that they had a loose thread in their fabric. How's things?
로모 박사는 400명 이상의 임사 체험자들을 면담한 결과 죽음의 경험이 삶에 긍정적인 영향을 끼친 경우가 많다는 것을 발견했다.
I take care of very ill patients, many of them dying. They have tremendous fear of death. Those people who didn't fear death were by and large the ones who had already died, been resuscitated, and had had a near-death experience.
또한 빛과 만나는 행복한 체험이 모두에게 해당되는 건 아니라는 것이다. 80% 정도는 어둡고 지옥 같은 여행을 경험했다고 한다.
It is a real problem that people who have had a frightening experience or a less than positive experience unfortunately assume that their account will be met with harsh judgment. In other words, they assume that the world at large will feel that if they had a less than positive experience, a hellish experience, they deserved it.
Because I didn't see no light at the end of the tunnel. I didn't hear no angels, trumpets blowing. My life didn't pass before me.
부정적인 임사 체험을 한 사람들 돕기 위해 로모 박사는 국제 임사 체험학회 후원을 받아 원래 모임을 갖고 있다.
I'm alive. Can you picture somebody being buried in a coffin underneath the ground? Can you picture being in a coffin and you're alive and they're burying you? That's the experience that I had experienced.
I had what could be described as a hellish experience. I had gone into this deep, dark pit that seemed to be like a cave or a place that was under the earth. There were
heaven and hell are human terms, have nothing to do with the primal near-death experience. These are just reflections of the human psyche. So when they come from religions that have a deep belief in hell, sometimes you'll hear hellish experiences.
And there were fires burning, and there were people or beings coming down either side of the stairway, and they seemed extremely unhappy. I mean, they were in agony, they were miserable, they were
비기독교 문화권 출신에게는 부처나 알라 또는 그냥 하얀 빛이 보이기도 한다.
I felt that warm rush of light and just total love. And I can remember just saying to myself, that's it, I'm gone. And I was happy to go.
We learn many, many things from sharing and studying these experiences. Perhaps the most important thing is that life is very, very precious, but death is not to be feared.
There is no such thing as death. There is a slight struggle. Dying sucks. Being dead is not bad. You know?